Eric Muathe. With about 2.5 hours to go, we are looking at the markets coming off the lows. At some point, the Dow was down 220 points, I think, and now we see the Nasdaq coming back into the positive. And so let's take a look at why that could be the case. Remember, it's always good to wait for the close of the day sometimes to make sure that what the market is trying to do makes sense. If we take a look at the short-term hourly charts, we see that, as I discussed yesterday, we might have a reversal back above this line on the Nasdaq hourly with uniform activity. So there is an early sign of a recovery. I would use that as a buy signal short-term because we don't know what is next, but this is good enough for me to think that the market is actually truly about to bounce. And the MACDs have not yet moved above zero, but they could eventually do that. Let's take a look at another, which is the Dow 60-minute chart. So on the hourly on the Dow, we can see that this green line is where the market has been finding nice entry points going back a while. This is where the market has been finding lows, and if you've been part of the service for a while, you know that this is a line that we've had on the charts for quite a while. So the market coming here, touching that and bouncing is something that we have to respect. If we take a look at the transports daily, actually the transports hourly, this line on the green line, just like the Dow hourly, is where this market has been finding lows. Every time we hit this, we get a sizable move on a daily basis. So we can conclude here, without knowing what the future brings, that this is good enough for the market to bounce based on that. We take a look at the S&P 500 hourly, and you can see that this line here on the S&P 500 was an entry on the way up here, which was this area, and now we've come back, came close here and held for a couple of days higher, and now we've come here, we touched it and moved higher. We also bounced at 30.90 on an hourly basis, suggesting that somewhere around here this is actually a bounce that could have some legs. Take a look at the VIX, which should give us an early sell signal on the hourly, and as we can see, that it looks like if the VIX eventually rolls over back below the red line, then that's a sell signal. And so if that is the case and the VIX is back above that red line, then I would consider this uniform activity above the red line back below it, and that's going to be a sell signal. So wait to see how that's going to develop. If it can hold, if the VIX can hold above the red line, maybe there's some hope for the shorts that the market is actually broken. Right now the market is doing exactly what it needs to do, which is bounce off those daily support lines. So I'll mention 3 ideas here, assuming the market is actually looking to go higher. The first one is a little bit extended off the highs, but just watch this level here on the weekly. Should it come back closer to this, you know, right now that would be a buy point of 45.99, slightly above that. If it comes back to the, you know, like the 48, 49 area, maybe you can see whether you can get a stab of this one, but slightly extended. But here's one that's breaking out above the prior weekly closing high of 45.99. The other one is one that we've been following for a while. It is TRU, and it's negative for the week, but on the monthly basis it just needs to stay above 20.67. If it can stay above 20.67, I think this is one you can still continue looking at as a potential breakout candidate. On the daily, you can see it's having a nice move for the day, coming back off the lows with the market. So this is one you can continue keeping on your radar for potential breakout. The other one is also one that was down earlier, it's just like the market, but it's coming back, and I'm thinking the fact that it's holding above the prior weekly closing high means that the weekly breakout has not failed. It looked like the weekly breakout was failing, so it just needs to defend 13.97. If it can hold above that, it's a buy in my opinion. The reason why is because the monthly looks good, RSI creeping back above 69.1 or close to it, and the MACDs are also trading at 3-year highs, as you can see. So this is still a candidate if it can hold above 13.97. On the daily, you can see that it's coming off the lows here one time at 13, now back above 14. So it needs to stay above 13.97 and for it to be a candidate for the upside. So we'll see where we close. Let's not make conclusions. The close is what determines what the daily charts look like. For now, here's your markets coming off the lows, and I've given you the reasons why on the hourly. That makes a lot of sense. Eric Moore, good luck, peace, and blessings. Woo!